Good day everyone. Today we are going to tackle about OS-C6. I am Gunetza Winzo Ortiz from BSIT S2A. So now let's proceed. So the objective of this activity is to create client OS, one Windows XP and one Windows 7. So the name of the virtual machine should be last name XP and last name Win 7. Or for example, for me, Ortiz XP and Ortiz Windows 7. So next is connect the two client OS to your Windows Server domain using DHCP. Yan, dito lang natin. Windows 7 IP address must belong to Class A network, and Windows XP IP address must belong to Class B network. And lastly, login 3 student accounts per section per operating system. So I'm going to explain how this thing will work. So next. So step 1 is to create client OS. So prepare installation media for Windows XP and Windows 7. So wait lang. So we have to obtain a Windows XP installation and install it in our virtual box similar to Windows 7. So next is boot each computer from the installation media. So insert the Windows XP installation or plug in the bootable USB drive into the computer intended for Windows XP installation, power on or restart the computer, and access the BIOS UEFI settings to set the boot priority to the CD or DVD drive. Yeah. So next is you will save the BIOS under from booting each computer now from the virtual box. So yeah, repeat the same process to each Windows na kailangan natin, no? And once the computer, so once the computer was booted up and okay na, we have to follow on-screen instructions to install Windows XP and Windows 7. So madali na lang yan. You just have to boot the computer or the virtual box, the operating system, and follow the on-screen instructions provided by the Windows XP or Windows 7 setup wizard. So choose the appropriate options such as settings, disk partitioning, and start the installation process. And next is create username for each computer. So last name XP, for me it should be Ortiz XP and Ortiz Windows 7. So during the installation process, you will be prompted to create a username for each computer. Use a standardized naming, just like what I said kanina. Set password as needed for each user account to ensure security. So this is the first step, setting up or creating the client OS. No? So next is connect the client OS to Windows Server domain using DHCP. So, ayan. First is ensure Windows Server is configured as a DHCP server. Log into the Windows Server system with administrative privileges. Open the Server Manager tool. Navigate to the Rules and Features section. Install the DHCP server role if it's not already installed. Configure the DHCP server settings such as IP address range, subnet mask, default gateway, DNS servers, list duration, and etc. Next is boot Windows XP and Windows 7 computers. Access network settings on each computer. So, power on the computers that we have, Windows XP and Windows 7. So, dapat nakabuka siya sa iba-ibang virtual box, no? Ayan. Next is set network adapt. Oh, magkaiba pala yun. So, next is access network settings on each computer. So, on each computer, log in with administrative privileges or an account that has permission to modify network settings. Open the control panel and navigate to the network and sharing center or network connections in Windows XP. So after this, set network adapter settings to obtain IP address automatically or DHCP. In the network and sharing center or network connections window, locate the network adapter that is connected to the network. Right click on the adapter and choose properties. In the adapter properties window, select the Internet Protocol version 4 TCP IPv4 or Internet Protocol TCP IP item and click on Properties. In the TCP property windows, ensure that the option to obtain an IP address automatically and obtain DNS server address automatically is selected. These settings enables the computer to receive network configuration details from the DHCP server automatically. Next is restart computers to obtain IP addresses from DHCP server. So after setting the network adapters to obtain IP address automatically, close the network settings windows. Restart each computer to apply the new network settings and allow them to connect to the network. Next is verify successful IP address assignment. Once the computer have restarted, log into each computer, open a command prompt window. You just have to type cmd, no? In the command prompt window, type the command ipconfig and press enter. This command will display network configuration. Oh my god, nagulat ako. This command will display network configuration details for the computer. Look for the IPv4 address assigned to the network adapter if it begins with the IP address range configured on the DHCP server. Then the computer has successfully obtained an IP address from the DHCP server. So next step is log in 5 student accounts per section per OS. So first, you just have to log into each client OS with administrative privileges. So start by logging onto each Windows XP and Windows 7 computer with an account that has administrative privileges. This will allow you to make changes to user accounts and settings. So kailangan naka-admin ka, hindi ka dapat user lang. Ayan. Open the control panel and navigate to user accounts. So once logged in, open the Open the control panel and navigate to user accounts. So once you are logged in, open the control panel from the start menu. In the control panel, locate and open the user accounts or user accounts and family safety section. Next is create 5 students accounts for each OS. So within the user account section, look for options to manage user accounts. This may vary slightly between Windows XP and Windows 7. So choose the option to manage another account or add or remove user accounts. And then assign usernames and passwords for each account. So select the option to create a new account and then enter a username for the students such as any names or your classmate or anyone you think of any names of a student. So after creating creating names, choose a strong password for each account and confirm it. You may also choose to set a password hint for each account. So after that, log out of the administrative account and verify functionality by logging into each student. So log out. So once you're done creating accounts, log out as administrative account and log as student account as the student accounts you have uh, created. So log in each student account using the respective username and password you created. Verify that each student account has access to the necessary application and functionalities required for their use. Yan. So, next step is connecting client PCs to the domain server. So, yung Windows 7 and Windows XP, they are client PCs. So, we have the domain server na pinakakokonekan nilang dalawa. So, ensure active domain controller and DHCP are properly set up. So, once you have confirmed that it is ready to go, you just continue to do the last step. Ayan, sorry, step 2 yung nalagay ko, hindi ko na kita. So, that's actually step 5, no? So, connecting Windows 7 or XP to server. So, yan. First is you have to boot up client OS, set up network and sharing center. Yan. Power on the client computer and wait for the operating system to boot up. Next is, and then you have to open the control pan. Okay, mali na naman ako. Na-overlook ko itong setup. So, that's another step. Set up network and sharing center. Open the control panel on the client computer and navigate to network and internet. And then click to network and sharing center. And then, access local area network properties. In this network and sharing center, find and click on the change adapter settings option in the left-hand sidebar. Next is select TCP or IPv4 and input DNS server address. Yeah. Right-click on the local area connection and choose properties. Scroll down and makikita nyo na dun yung Internet Protocol version 4. And then you just have to click property button. And then use the following DNS server na given na dapat alam niyo yung server address na ilalagay nyo. Ayan. Next is access computer properties, change computer name and domain. So, open the control panel again and navigate to System and Security and then System. Click on Change Setting next to the computer name. In the System Properties window, go to the Computer Name tab and click on the Change button. Enter the new computer name as per your naming convention and select the option to Domain instead of Workgroup. Ayan. Next is enter domain administrator credentials. When prompted, enter the credentials of a domain administrator account to join the computer to the domain. So this step requires the administrative privileges on the local computer. So next is log out user PC and log into domain PC. So after successfully joining the domain, you will be prompted to restart the computer, and then once you restart the computer, it will apply the domain changes. So lastly is switch user and log in using domain credentials. So after the computer restart, you will see the login screen. Click on switch user and choose the option to log into the domain and just enter the domain username that you have inputted, and then the corresponding password. Log into the computer using the domain credentials, yes, and this step establish a domain user session on the client computer. So once you are done, you can see the connection of the client OS to the domain server uh, of the OS. So that is all for this activity. I hope you've learned a lot. Thank you and goodbye.